Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Why on Earth. Today, we have an incredible guest on, a good friend, JJ Michaels. So we're going to talk to him today about just what he's doing, his life, how he got to where he is, his spiritual journey, and so much more. So thank you guys all for tuning in. And JJ, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming in.
I'm blessed, bro. Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I talked to Marquis a couple weeks ago, 2, 3, maybe even 4 now. And it's just, I'm really grateful to see you guys are doing this, and I'm really grateful y'all gave me the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, absolutely. And it has helped, honestly, the ability that Marquis and I have to talk with Zoom, especially, it's made it really, really nice to kind of go over all of our thoughts on the situation, especially with coronavirus, and then politics and religion and philosophy. And there's so much to talk about, but we're excited you're actually really our first second Zoom guest. We were interviewed by my mom recently. She started.
Oh, that's cool.
So we were interviewed by her, but we're like, this is perfect. People are home, and most people are using Zoom, so we might as well take advantage of this. And so, dude, congratulations, and congratulations to us. We got you on, and I'm excited to ask you some questions and see what you're up to. But how has life been in quarantine? We're 2.5, I think, months in, and what have you been up to?
Yeah, totally, man. It's been really balanced, a good yin and good yang. I've definitely spent a lot of time, especially in the beginning, like sleeping, like just straight up. I mean, I think all of us should at least take some time to catch up on years of lack of sleep. In this Western culture, we're so, especially out here in a metropolitan area, we're so pushed to go, become, create status, create wealth, create legacy, create spiritual impact, and like even that you find in this Western world. So it's good to just unplug. I did a lot of that in the beginning, and then to further answer your question, modeling has been really dead. So utilizing that platform outside of social media hasn't really been too applicable. But that's fine. I've been really focused on building my organic nutrition business and helping people cleanse, detoxify their bodies, and especially this herbicide called glyphosate. I'm really passionate about educating on that.
Yeah. Can you say that name one more time?
Yeah, it's glyphosate, and it's just another word for it, or association, is Roundup. Have you guys heard of like Roundup Ready?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, and glyphosate is extremely harmful. I mean, there's been billion-dollar lawsuits against Monsanto for Roundup, for glyphosate being, because it's at this point Monsanto has monopolized the seed industry, right, and the crop industry. And then from there, pretty much farmers have a responsibility to use the seeds provided by Monsanto, and then also the pesticide provided by Monsanto. Otherwise, they can't be in business. I may be a little wrong on the process, but it is a very harmful chemical that is used.
Yeah, man, it's causing a lot of this gut dysbiosis, gut issues, SIBO, all of these gut problems, leaky gut, all these gut problems that people are having. And there's a direct impact, a direct correlation between the brain and the gut. The body has 3 brains. It's got obviously the mind, the brain, the heart brain, and then the gut brain. The heart brain is more of an electromagnetic field and connection between all of us. The mind, the brain, is obviously used to think, and it's basically like electrical circuits firing around in your body, communicating. And then your gut, which is cutting edge science. Science is just now showing that we have brain matter. We have ganglia in our guts, runs up the vagus nerve through the heart and connects to our brain. So literally follow your gut, like follow your intuition. That's not bullshit.
Yeah. And it also, to add on to that, it is well, a lot of our emotional response comes from our gut. So depending on what you eat, that has a direct relation to how you act and how you react. So that's really cool. How, I want to ask you how, or can you give us a little explanation of what it is, what your eco-conscious business is, and how you're helping people understand glyphosate, and then how to get the body, or to rid the body of glyphosate, and to help build the gut wall flora and all of that stuff.
Yeah, totally, man. So in December of 2018, going into the beginning of 2019, I helped found this community, and we're based all over. We're a virtual community as well as here in LA, but a good amount of us are in LA. And we call it the Holistic Justice League. So, you know, we take the idea of being superheroes, of like Captain Planet, and kind of embodying that. So we use economic empowerment, we use sustainable practices, and we've partnered with this gentleman named David Sandoval. He's been in the superfood space for about 28 years. And the guy, the best way to think of David Sandoval is he's like the Napoleon Hill of superfoods and of healing modalities. You know, he studied Ayurveda. He studied with all of these different healing modalities and all of these different practices, lifestyles, way of increasing consciousness and healing the human body all throughout the world. And long story short, he comes from trauma, you know, a lot like me. Like he got the shit kicked out of him by his dad, lots of alcoholism, lots of addiction in his family. But he ended up living with his aunt, and he watched her pass away from eating these carcinogenic foods, you know, McDonald's, all this garbage that we're eating in our society, TV dinners. And so long story short, he developed this company. It's called Purium. It means pure and premium. And his newest innovation was to create a biomedic, and it goes into your body, and the clinical trials show that in 6 weeks it'll pull the glyphosate out of your tissues.
Wow.
And in about 6 weeks you'll get about 74% of it out, and you're really clarity is the best way to describe it to someone who's never experienced it. Just like fucking crazy clarity.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, that's incredible. For those who don't know, how does glyphosate enter the system? What are we eating that has glyphosate in it?
Oh, dude, so much, man. Basically all of our food, if you're not sourcing it, if you don't know the sourcing perfectly, and even if you're eating organic food, right? Because the whole idea behind organic is there's no pesticides, no chemicals, no glyphosate. But even if you're eating organic, let's say, for one, the USDA lowered its standards to no spray for only 3 years. So the soil could be contaminated. Outside of that, if you've got overspray from other contaminated farms within, 10-mile radius or whatever, it can actually get carried in the wind. Golfers get glyphosate contaminated the most as humans. Our dogs get really just hammered with it because they spray the grass, they spray hedges, they spray our parks, they spray obviously all conventional and commercial foods, so non-organic foods. So you really got to know your sourcing, and it's a lifestyle in this current world of detoxification. That's why the breath work's important. That's why getting grounded in the earth barefoot is important. It's chelating these heavy metals, chelating these chemicals out of our body, using these ancient and modern practices to detoxify, nourish, and replenish the body constantly, right? Constantly.
Mm-hmm. Wow. No, I have so many questions. But I'm trying to keep it on point because I want to talk to you about the electromagnetic grid and how that pertains to Like wearing rubber soles versus grounding your in the ground, and what the benefits of that are. Have they been tested? Which I believe they have. And then, but as far as glyphosate, that's, so I'm assuming that the company that you helped co-found is, or the union that you helped co-found, the goal with the product, the community, the goal with the product is to help strip away the glyphosate within the intestinal walls or within the gut itself, and then rid the body of that to I guess help you think clearer and overall be a healthier person.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it goes back to, like we said, replenish, detoxify, nourish. If you can constantly be in a state of that, you're in a constant healing state, because, even cellularly, we're new being every 5 to 7 years. You hear different figures. Some people say even less. So yeah, it's you're constantly stripping away the unproductive and putting in the productive. And yeah, it's that's just one product. There are over 70 superfoods and products on the line, from minerals to convenient raw green juice. Lots of different options, especially for, I'd say, someone who, like your standard American. It's direct mainlining superfoods, rebuilding the blood, rebuilding the organs, the body with optimal nutrition.
Mm. Yeah, dude, you've always been an inspiration for just like the body wellness, in terms of like what you consume, not even just like fitness,
Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
Juicing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's another level. It's another level that I haven't quite taken the opportunity to tap into yet. And I've just been sitting there for the last like 10 minutes and just like, yeah. Like, this is definitely another step in the journey that it's just inspiring to see. And I'm curious, just like how did you arrive at this place where this is what you thought needed to be done? I know you said you, no, that was David Sandoval. Never mind. Go ahead. How did you get?
No, you're right. You're right, though. I did reference, I said, David Sandoval, Yeah, and to answer your question, Marquis, it really, I think a lot of these people that we look at as healers or as world changers, I think a lot of them come from a background of trauma. And, you see it so often where your yogi friend grew up in a house where they were yelled at or told they weren't good enough, or your, massage therapist friend has kind of the same story. And that's where I'm at. I grew up in South Georgia, a super racist environment. I remember sitting around campfires with people who were leaders at my school, like assistant principals and stuff like that. And these are grown men, telling racist jokes, and the thing is, people have to understand from an outside perspective, these people are just, it really comes more from ignorance. It's their grandpas did the same thing to them, or their dads, and it's passed down. But, luckily our generation, I feel especially, gets to help break that. Especially with social media, and not even just our generation, even some of them, we're just becoming more aware. We're all waking up, right? So there was a lot of racism in that environment, a lot of hate, a lot of fear. I used to come home, I'd see my mom passed out on the floor, needles on the counter. I remember being really hungry and just finding in the cabinet some shitty white bread. And I think experiencing that and seeing that, but it also being normal. I want people to understand too, this isn't about me creating a pity party for myself. It's that was normal. It was normal for me to see things like that. And it was normal for me to see my mom get choked by my stepdad, and because it was normal, I think I have this vibe that I carry now where people are super, they don't feel judged by me, which is cool. So I also want to say that with my traumas, there were beautiful things. This world is duality that we're currently living in, and there's always light in the dark. Where my mom had her issues with pharmaceuticals, she also taught me not to be racist in the South. She also was the reason I had like, Black friends at my house and stuff like that, which is really cool. So there's always beauty in the bad, if you will. And
Right.
so yeah, I had these experiences. In my other household, I would get told that I was a loser for not wanting to like play sports, sign up for the basketball team and football, and just stuff I didn't really care about. I was more of I think, artist naturally. And I kind of shied away from that because I was pushed to play sports. But once again, I'm grateful for all of these things, because through these traumas and through living that, I was able to then move into college. And then I started doing my own shit. I started snorting cocaine and shooting steroids. And like, my motto was literally looks over health. Like, that's how I carried myself. And through all of that, I just created a lot of muscle imbalances. I created a lot of trauma built up in my body, and I started diving deep into healing once I got to LA about 5 years ago. So, I studied sound healing. I was open and willing. I always say a willing body is a healing body. If you're willing to heal, you will. And you use your will to heal. Right. And so, yeah, man, I just studied all these different modalities. I got really involved in body work, energy healing, just using myself as a test subject. Organic nutrition, I found was optimal for the human body. So, yeah, that's kind of been the journey, man. And it's taking my trauma and my drama and using it as something to heal the world. It all starts with self. You start healing self, and then, like you said, Marquis, you said, JJ, like, you've always been really like up there when it comes to what you consume. And it's like, this is all a byproduct of me experiencing what I once perceived to be like negativity or darkness, but it's really just my life path and my spiritual journey. And that's cool.
Yeah, dude, what I hear is acceptance. You learned acceptance at an early age. Like, on one hand, you say it was normal, and that to me is acceptance. It's just like, oh, okay, this is happening. And then what's the difference is, the distinction is like, you transmuted that into something, into who you are now, into your being now. And that was always something that inspired Liam when I first met him. I sensed this overcoming of a darkness when he was a kid, and I went through that, and like, I know that's what made me strong. So here we all sit,
Yeah.
Like energy.
Yeah. And like you said, a lot of healers come from a past of trauma, and also, and not just healers, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people who want to overcome those things that, and break the chain really of their past and the generations before them. And I do think that there are so many chains that are being broken by our generation. There's a lot of like of a negative view of our generation, which I think is understandable in certain contexts. But we are really breaking the chains. I don't know if we're doing it correctly all the time, but we are rising up and breaking the chains. But anyways, I wanted to commend you for just your process, because I remember meeting you. I don't know if you had been in LA for a couple months or a year, but we met at a party, and we were working the party, and you were just starting. Like, what you were talking about, you were I can't remember who you were quoting and what books you were reading, but they were inspiring. And I was not in a place whatsoever to really understand, but it was intriguing. And I was like, oh, this guy's, he's on a very interesting and cool path. And then I watched you start to go on Snapchat and I think it was Snapchat actually, because Snapchat started stories first. And you're like, hey, I'm going to start this journey. And I think you said this once, I'm not like the best at talking on camera, but I think that through doing this, I will get better. And welcome to my journey and come along with me. And I've watched you rise up in the past couple of years and start to build that legacy and create, break the chains and really create a new path for yourself. So I want to commend you for that, because I've been able to, from like an outside perspective, be able to watch that. And then certain times, be in your life and all of us hanging out and doing stuff. So it's been really cool to watch.
Thank you, bro. And just real quick, to hit Snapchat. Yeah, I remember I was doing a fuck ton of yoga over at Bhakti Yoga. It's called like Bhakti Yoga Shala over in Santa Monica. Definitely check it out. It's donation based. But Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of love and devotion. So I would always get these like crazy downloads when I'd go to and from the class. And I remember I got on Snapchat one day and I was like talking about manifestation. And I was like, yeah, instant manifestation. It's where you just speak something into existence. And I literally was like, I want, if anyone out there can help me, I want a headband, like a bandana with a third eye right here. And dude, Liam hits me up and he made it and he sent that to me. So dude, I appreciate you.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I totally forgot about that.
Dude, that was so cool. It was literally like you were the vessel that helped me instantly manifest a thought into reality within like, it's probably like 30 minutes, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing to look back on like three people and the journeys that we've all had individually and then how they've intertwined together. It's really cool. And once again, it's been really cool to watch your journey and to see how far you've come, and you really are an inspiration. Looking at your Instagram and seeing you from afar, it's really cool to watch how you tackle the world. And LA is a crazy place, and you're doing a great job in this crazy place.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Absolutely.
There was a joke last night where we were just like, what do we want to ask JJ? And I was like, how about we ask him how he got so goddamn sexy? And honestly, everything you've already said answers that question. And I know that, it's like, it's the healthy eating, it's the healthy mindset. It's just like the will to be better than the past. And it's not about the physical. The physical just happens to reflect the spiritual. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that, man. And even like, going back to my mom, like, dude, one thing is like, she always, up until recently, she always took care of her looks. Like, she always had like, beautiful teeth, and always like, even if she was getting like zooted, like really messed up, like she always took care of her being. So I think I have her consciousness to thank for that as well. Once again, beauty and the bad, beauty and the darkness, however you want to label it. There's always positivity.
I've got a question for you. How do you balance business and spirituality? How do you intertwine those two and succeed? Because you are succeeding and you're doing a great job. Hold on, I just got a notification.
We have 10 minutes.
Okay. We got 10 minutes.
Cool.
So how do you intertwine the two? How do you balance the two as well?
Yeah, totally, man. I'm a pretty intuitive guy. So I honestly, I'd say I trust my intuition more than anything. But a good start is just like, notice how you're feeling, and it also, there's a dividing consciousness between this like go Westerner, like what you see in self-improvement books, like work all the time, and not resting and like not meditating and just sitting and being still. So I'd say definitely when it comes to your consumption, like read or consume a good balance of like spiritual slow down practice, as well as this like Western speed up, move, drive. So like in terms of the content you're consuming and the people you're hanging out with, make sure they're balanced or it feels balanced. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then other than that, don't be afraid to take a day off. Like if you feel fried and you've been going hard for a day or two, like fucking go to the Ojai hot springs, like go get into nature, like turn your phone off. It's okay. I think we have to get comfortable with that being okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 'cause the normality, I think, within entrepreneurs, or what you read in these books about these incredible people that have gone from rags to riches, is no sleep. It's 20-hour days, 4 hours sleep. And then you can sleep when you're dead. You can sleep when you're successful. And even then, so it doesn't allow for that time. And I think that you're a good example of how to balance the two, because most people that I know that are entrepreneurs, it is that grind. But I don't know if that's in the long run beneficial. I don't think it is, because you don't allow the time to really to be present, I guess.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I think the old paradigm was like, work hard, like move through the emotions you're feeling and like manifest. And now it's more like Abraham Hicks vibes. It's like, nah, get into the flow. What does it feel like to have what you want? And let it magnetize towards you. So I think practice doing the things that make you feel like that. For example, I'll give you a very practical, like real world example of this. So it's like, all right, you go out to the beach because maybe you're feeling a little off. You put your feet in the sand. You're literally interacting with all the elements. You got fire from the sun. You got earth beneath your feet. You got water. You've got wind. Like, you're literally on the beach. You're feeling great. You're getting all the negative ions, all the healthy benefits of being at the beach, and your vibe changes. So then, you walk into a supermarket or you walk into a place that you would normally go into, and people are just like, fuck, like, I don't know what this dude has going on, but like, I want some of that. And then all of a sudden you just made a sale, or, somebody just became interested in a piece of content you posted because you were in such a great state. Like, it's your state that brings everything in. You feel me? So what can I do to get into that state? Like, dude, I bought a PS4 like 2-3 days ago, and like, I'm probably going to give it away. Like, I don't really play video games like I used to, but I'm enjoying being a kid right now. Why not? It's quarantine. I've hit a lot of goals in my business, and like, I want to enjoy being a kid for a few days. So, and it feels good. And I attracted this opportunity. It's like, just focus on feeling good, but not to the point of like debauchery or hedonism.
Yeah, there is a really cool, which I've noticed as well, but didn't really ever put a finger on it. When you heighten your vibe by being in nature, or by taking a moment to be present, and then you go into the world, and all of a sudden you're like, why are people looking at me? Why are people like coming up to me and just sparking up a conversation? That doesn't make sense, but it does make sense, because you're putting out an energy that is welcoming, that is balanced, that is present, and people are attracted to that.
And dude, in a world of like stressed out, overworked, anxiety ridden, where's my next paycheck coming from? In a world of that mindset, that scarcity, that anxious energy, it's like, it's such a breath of fresh air for people to just be with someone who's present as fuck. They're just like, whoa, I don't feel like constricted around this being. Wow. Who are you?
Yeah, that's awesome. So we have 4.5 minutes. I want to ask you one more question, then I want you to tell people how they can get in contact with you and learn more about what you're doing, and just give us your Instagrams, tags, and all of that stuff. But how do you foresee the future with COVID-19 taking place? We're getting things of like, oh, it's going to be another 3 months. Oh, it's going to be, August or July or this and that. How do you foresee the future, and what advice do you have for those that are kind of either in fear or looking forward to COVID-19 being done and us going back to normal, what are some practical things that people can do to move forward and look at the future in the right way?
Yeah, man. I feel, we've always got to take the positive approach. Like, the future's always looking bright. I feel we create the future. We're literally making it in this moment. So what's our intention? I think that's the question. And I want heaven on earth. Like, I want to see, experience, feel heaven on earth. I believe that we have the capability to create it. We've just got to, I really believe, and this kind of ties everything in, like with my vision, all of it. It's like healthy me, healthy Liam, healthy Marquis, healthy individual equals healthy planet. How can we expect to have a healthy world? How can we expect the world to be mentally healthy, physically healthy, vibrationally healthy if we're not on that level ourselves? So yeah, man, I see heaven on earth. That's what I want to ground. That's what I speak into existence. And regardless of all the conspiracy stuff, regardless of like what they are trying to do, or maybe you don't believe in that at all, but regardless, I feel that where this COVID thing has showed us we can all be locked down as a society, as a world society, it has also showed us that we can all get on the same page. So let's all get on the same page of good energy, healthy food, clean air, clean water, clean soil. And I think it all starts with becoming that,
Absolutely. I love it. Now, how can people get in contact with you? And how can people look into what it is that you're doing with your business and life in general?
Yeah, totally, man. So as far as getting in contact with me, Instagram's great. It's just at J.Michaels, Michaels, Michael with an S.
Mm-hmm.
So J. Michaels on basically all platforms, YouTube, Instagram, etc. And feel free to reach out there. Feel free to see what I'm doing in terms of the Holistic Justice League at our website, theholisticjusticeleague.com, or DM me directly. We also have an Instagram as well. So yeah, tons of ways to see what we're doing. And it's just, I think creating community that has that foresight and that vision to believe that we could do something as massive as grounding heaven on earth. I think that's what I'm really interested in right now. Just creating that consciousness.
Love it. Well, JJ,
Dope.
Thank you so much for being on the call with us, man. Love you, bro. And yes, this is JJ Michaels, everybody. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time with another episode of Why on Earth.